Hello and welcome to Trade of the Week for the week beginning Monday, the 4th of August. Let's look firstly at this week's trade of the week. We're going to go long the S&P 500. Yes, it might seem foolhardy after those job numbers. It might seem like we're just continuing to ignore the bad news. But if you look at this, you've got a recovery over the past, a very strong recovery in early trading this morning, and Sunday night's trading very good as well. So we found a low for the time being. That's the key thing here. We've been given a level against which we can trade. And crucially, if you look back to early July, all the way back to a month ago, it was an interesting area because we saw around 6,200 the buyers step in. Whenever we got close to this, as you can see on the 7th of July, if you look to the 16th of July, this is where the buying materialized. So 6,200, your line in the sand, as ever, will give it just a bit more room to breathe. I know it's one of my cliches, but it's still true. You could even maybe nicely got a 50-day moving average coming in here. So we'll go for 61.90 as our stop loss on the basis that if it does reverse, and if it does continue to fall from here, hits that stop, our view that it will now bounce and move higher has been negated. So that's how we're looking at this trade. We're not saying it will go for another 6 months, but if you're looking for a trade of the week, it might well be that some of the negativity around these numbers from Friday has been overdone, shall we say, and that we might see the market continue to recover. There's still a lot going on this week, plenty of earnings coming through, not quite the really heavyweight stuff we had last week, but enough to keep the market busy. But so the trade of the week for this week, long the S&P 500 with our stop at 61.90. Now to look back to last week's trade, not a bad one to start off with. It was long US crude oil. That bounced nicely, particularly on Tuesday. Reports of Trump imposing fresh sanctions on Russian oil, on buyers of Russian oil in particular. But then, of course, you had the reversal on Friday with those poor job numbers. The question, of course, is now, we're still higher where we were a week ago. Can it continue to move up from here? You've had OPEC reportedly increasing production as well. So we'll see whether that one does continue to move higher, so one to keep an eye on. But that, of course, just go back to this week's trade of the week, buy the S&P, long the S&P 500 with our stop at 61.90.